besties, welcome back to my channel. Please like and subscribe. Today we are going to be discussing Fate Inked in Blood by Natalie I've and Quicksilver by Callie Hart. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you back in time, and we're going to read a Fate Inked in Blood and Quicksilver together, and then we're gonna talk about it. Took a bath and I'm fixing to start a Fate Inked in Blood. This is a fantasy romance. Look at the cover, and this came from the library. Like, look at these edges. Look how pretty. Isn't that so pretty? I want to take this edition home. I want to keep it but I have to return it. Elise Kova commented on it. She said, captivating and sexy with a fierce heroine and a smoldering hero, A Fate Inked in Blood is everything you want in a fantasy romance. So this might be a new favorite. I'm predicting 5 stars. I really want another 5 star. This has been a pretty good year so far. I've had a lot of 5 stars, but then I've also had a lot of 2 and 3 stars, like books that I will never pick up again. So I've had more of those than 5 stars. I haven't read anything by Elise Kova yet, so if you have, let me know, and let me know what book you think I should start with. Oh my god, there's a lot of good authors that commented. Kate Robert, she wrote Neon Gods. I really liked Neon Gods. It was just a little too smutty for me. I'm sorry, it just was. I just felt like it was non-stop. But anyways, we're not gonna get into that. She said, this is Natalie I've at her best. A delicious and completely unput-downable fantasy. That is what I need right now. I need something where I want to keep reading and I don't want to put it down. I have the whole weekend to myself. So, Olivia Hildenstein, author of A House of Beating Wings, that is also on my TBR. A brutally sexy world filled with magic, prophecy, and Norse lore that will keep you flipping the pages well into the night. I'm really hoping I enjoy this. I'm gonna dive right in. I'm gonna set my timer for about 2 hours and then I'll update you. to grab a drink. Obsession is a venti ice shaken espresso with white chocolate mocha, oat milk, and extra caramel drizzle. So this book, I told you guys before ahead of time, I told you I was predicting 5 stars from the back. I really like this book. The first part, the opening few chapters, literally starts out with a bang. It is gripping. You're gonna want to keep turning the page. It's fast paced. So much is happening. The middle, where it went downhill. The middle for me was slow, not enough to keep my attention. And then the last half, it picked back up again. This book opens up with Freya, our FMC. This entire book is told from her POV, sad face, because I would have loved to have Bjorn's point of view at some point, because this chick is feisty. I started out really liking her character. I thought she was a complete badass and didn't take shit from anybody. And then she kind of went downhill for me because she just started getting on my nerves, okay? She is in a very unhealthy marriage to a man named Vargi, who is abusive and narcissistic and possesses sea magic, and so he keeps their village fed. So he's a fishmonger. He's a very cruel man, and he can be cruel to sea life before he unalives them. Keep in mind, in the first chapter, there is a scene with a whale. If you're sensitive to animal cruelty, keep that in mind. You can totally skip that part if you need to. She wants out of this marriage, okay? She's unable to provide him with an heir, but she does this on purpose. She uses lemon juice as a contraceptive because she does not want to end up with his child. I don't blame her, but it's kind of funny because she makes his junk smell like lemons. So she's trapped into this horrible marriage that parents put her through, and her dad died. Her mom is very selfish, always looking out for Freya's brother, Grayer. They kind of put Freya last. They've always have. They've always put their own selfish needs and her brother before her best interest. They put her in this marriage to benefit themselves, not her. So she's trapped. She ends up finding a way out of the marriage. It actually puts her in a worse situation when Vargi makes a deal with one of the power-hungry Jarls on the continent, Jarl Snorri. She ends up having to fight his son, Bjorn, to the death, which then reveals her to be the Shield Maiden, which means she's blessed by the goddess Lean, and she has a drop of goddess blood running through her veins. The Shield Maiden is a big deal in this book, supposedly from a long ago prophecy. The prophecy states that the Shield Maiden will unite everyone on the continent under one ruler, which means war is gonna outbreak. War is gonna happen. War is coming. Jarl Snorri believes he is destined to control Freya, the Shield Maiden, and that he is destined to rule. Hate him so much. As the Shield Maiden, she can repel any attack as well as create a protective shield over others, kind of like Bella Swan, but with limitations. And we see that in the book where at some moments it actually backfires and more people die. So we also find out that she's been suppressing her magic her entire life. She's been hiding her magic to keep her family safe and avoid death at the hands of the Jarl. She is forced to marry Jarl Snorri and swear a blood oath. Turns out this dude is already married, and the man she's been lusting for is his son. So she's lusting for her husband's son, technically her stepson. If you want to get freaky, there you go. There's a little kink to this romantasy for you. This book also had some gore in it, classic Viking gore. I thought it was well done. I really enjoyed those parts, the battle scene parts. I will say the romance had a lot of tension, and at the same time it fell flat for me in areas, mostly the middle of the book. The middle of the book slowed down for me a lot. I didn't find it as quite as engaging as the beginning. I think that there should have been more to the world building and the magic system, and some of the terms and phrases were a little difficult for me to understand because I'm not very well versed in Norse mythology. Like, the only Norse mythology I know of is Thor and Loki, and that's because I've seen those Marvel movies. That is literally all of the Norse mythology I know. I honestly think that there actually should have been a map in this book at the beginning. I was questioning, why is there not a map? And I think a glossary would have helped tremendously because, again, for me, a lot of the certain terms and phrases I didn't quite grasp, but I kind of had an idea, but it still took me a second to try to figure it out as the story went on. I think there should have been more to the world building. I think there should have been a little bit more background in a Norse mythology and their beliefs and how their magic works. Last part of the book picked back up and reeled me back in. The romance had a lot of potential in the beginning and then kind of fell flat in the middle and then picked back up, like rekindled that flame and that spark toward the end. So I really enjoyed the romance in the first part and the last part, but not so much the middle, which I'm like, that's where it should grip me because it should not slow down in the middle, but for some reason this book did. It didn't have my attention in the middle, and I was starting to wonder, is this gonna end up being another 3-star? But then it picked back up toward the end. The spice is mild. We get a couple spice scenes that are well worth it. Okay, to give you an idea, there's a bit of fooling around against a tree, someone wearing a mask, and people watching. So that was well worth these 400 pages. As for our FMC and our MMC, I really liked Bjorn better than Freya. I found Freya's character to be impulsive, destructive. I understand that she's trying to figure out who she is and she's trying to figure out her new powers, but she's still very destructive, not just with when using her power, but with the people in her life. I found her to become very rash and a little over dramatic toward the end of the book. She is consumed with blood rage. If you want a raging female character, here you go. She is craving vengeance to the point she's so blind and can't hear what Bjorn is telling her because she's just consumed by this blood rage and this vengeance. I just found throughout the story all this rage is just consuming her and she's tearing herself down in the process. She's very self-critical, which I can relate to. Ultimately, I just found her character to be not really thinking things through, just doing, and the end results and the consequences are worse and are not what she wants. As for the plot twists, I was able to guess a few. Some of them took me by surprise. Twists and turns kind of saw coming, especially the big reveal in the end. And of course, as soon as somebody gets intimate, all hell breaks loose. We all know this. We all know this in every single book. After intimacy, something always happens. Let's talk a little bit about our MMC. He is dark-haired, tattooed. He's got tattoos on his face. He is like Thor with dark hair, with tattoos. Basically, Jason Momoa. The minute he enters this book, she immediately lusts for him. Like, he's that good looking. But not only that, is very protective over her to the point I thought it was actually kind of sweet. I really liked his character. And the tension, oh my god, the tension in the first part of the book and the tension toward the end. And they have a few tense moments in the middle, but the tension kept me going, kept me engaged. I was so excited for them finally to get together. If you want a feisty, sharp-tongued FMC, this is your girl. She's described as having a viper tongue, a sharp tongue. She is a little spitfire. I thought she was a badass in the opening pages of the book, and then as the book went on, She did get on my nerves, but she's everything you want in a female character. If you're looking for somebody who doesn't take anybody's shit, this is your girl. Toward the end, she is unable to hear Bjorn out at all, and that is also what drives me completely crazy. I'm like, girl, you've been through so many battles with this man. You've been through so much with this man. Like, he literally kept your toes from falling off, and you are unable to hear what he has to say. You are unable to let him explain himself. Instead, you're just gonna make assumptions. No, Bjorn, chef's kiss Bjorn. He is one of my new favorite fictional characters. I decided to give this book 4 stars because it had a lot of potential. Still one of my new favorites. Yes, I'm going to read the second book. Yes, it has the third book. I'm going to read the third book. But the problem I had is this book had so much potential and let me down in some areas, especially the romance. I wanted more than it gave. Like, I love the moments we got, but there could have been more. There could have been more to it. There could have been more to the world building. I still was left with so many questions after I finished this book. I will say in the areas that are stronger, it was definitely well worth the read. So I do recommend this, but just keep in mind, it might not hit the mark for everybody, but it may be your new favorite book. I'm recommending this, yes, but it may not be for you. May be for you. These are just my opinions, and this is why it's getting 4 stars. I was really hoping for another 5-star, but we're gonna continue on this journey. I'm going to be starting Quicksilver next. Callie Hart. I've seen this book all over TikTok, on Kindle Unlimited. Everyone's talking about this. So I need to know, why is it everyone's talking about this? So I'm finally picking this up. Inked in Blood released last year. I read it now, okay? I understand the hype. I also don't understand it. The only thing I know about it is a romantasy with fae. That's it. So I'm going in blind, and I will update you in a couple days. Stop everything you're doing and go pick up Quicksilver by Callie Hart. You will not be disappointed. This is my favorite book of the year. Hold on. Goodbye, The Wren in the Holly Library. Because Quicksilver is my favorite book of the year. Oh my, you haven't seen how beautiful this cover is. Look how gorgeous this man is. And he's going to be your new favorite book boyfriend. This is Kingfisher, you guys. Don't be misled by the name, because he is one yummy shadow daddy, and you are going to fall in love. Free on Kindle Unlimited, so there's no excuses, okay? Please go check out this book. I literally wish that I had the powers to manipulate Quicksilver so that I could portal to Kingfisher. That is how much I loved this book, you guys. And it's 600 pages. and I read it in 2 days. First of all, this book has everything. It has fae, vampires, witches. Literally, our FMC is a human who gets taken to a fae realm. Let's do a comparison. If you like these books, if you like this book, you are going to love Quicksilver. I didn't realize how zoomed in I was, you guys, so I apologize for that. Let's talk about Quicksilver. 5 stars. 1,000,000 stars. Okay, but Goodreads only lets me pick 5, up to 5, so 5 stars. But for me, a zillion, alright? Neck and neck with how I feel about ACOTAR, and Fourth Wing, and Twilight, and Harry Potter, and Bridgerton. This has earned a spot on my big shelf. Back here, I have all my favorite editions, my collectible editions. This is gonna get its own shelf as soon as I hunt down all the special editions. Now I only have the paperback, but that's okay because I have a feeling that this cover may not be available in a year or 2. I don't know. I just have a feeling, and this is how it goes. They always redo the covers, so I'm scared. So I'm getting it while I can, while it's here, because look, just look at him, you guys. He is perfection. I mean, hello. How can you not read this? I'm gonna shut up about Kingfisher and let's actually talk about the book. All right, so our book starts out with our FMC. This is from our FMC's POV, the entire book. We do not get Kingfisher's POV, but I heard that we'll get his POV in the second book, but don't come at me because I don't know if that's true. It's just what I heard. Hoping that's the case because I would love his POV. Our book opens up with Saris steals a gauntlet from the Queen's Guard. It was like a huge no-no. But the reason she does this is she's trying to give her and her brother and Elroy, father figure, she's trying to give them a better life because they're very poor and their queen is the queen of bitches. The queen of Bitchville. The queen of... She is the bitch of bitch queens. Top tier bitch queen. They live a horrible life. The people are hungry, they're thirsty, they're dying. The queen gives them up to 6 ounces of water per day. Basically, without spoiling it, she gets caught and she's sent to her death. During all of that, she discovers Quicksilver and she opens a portal unintentionally to the Fae realm. And that's when our shadow daddy Kingfisher emerges. And he is broody, is dark, mysterious, grumpy, asshole. But at the same time, this man is layered. He emerges and she's wounded. She's bleeding out. She's gonna die. He saves her and takes her to the Fae realm. Oh my gosh. It just gets better from there. I don't want to spoil anything. These plot twists are so good. And they come out of nowhere. I'm just gonna say it. Kingfisher's mom, the tattoos, Carrion, 7 gods. If you know, you know. Kingfisher saves her and takes her to the Fae realm. And she is freaking out because they were told Fae no longer exist, that they were cruel and evil. So we find out Saris has the ability to manipulate Quicksilver, which is a magical substance. It can be manipulated by alchemists. It's powerful and used to open up gateways, portals basically, to other realms. Our man Kingfisher was submerged in Quicksilver as a child and it left an impact. Quicksilver can also drive you mad. It hasn't been said if there's a cure. All I'm really going to say, because I don't want to spoil much and I fear that I will. 10 out of 10, 1,000,000 stars, an amazing read. As far as the romance, tension is there. The best tension I've ever read. Slow burn, smut is... For the dark romance girlies, you might enjoy this. It's dark, but not too dark. Like, it's subtle. The way Kingfisher talks. He's got the filthiest mouth, but in the best way. Even the battle scenes, sometimes it's too much for me and I tune out a little bit. because I just feel overloaded. I loved all of the battle scenes. I loved every character. Every character had personality. This also has found family in it, done so well. I loved it. I loved every bit. There's also the cutest little white fox named Onyx. Oh my god, I love that little fox. He just added so much to the book, so much. Like, I was smiling every time he entered the book. It was so cute. And then the little moments with him and Kingfisher, and to see that softer side of him. He's got a way with words when it comes to Cyrus. So dirty and heartfelt though. At the same time, like, he's got a way with words. Overall, I loved every single second of it, every single page. I highly recommend this book. Stop what you're doing and go pick it up. Okay, it is well worth it.